All right, bro. Let's dive in. You ready?
Yeah, sorry, I'm hammered.
Yeah, Jesus, dude. Clean your face, dude. Oh my gosh.
Wait,
Dude, we're recording an episode right now. You're eating eggs.
what I did, and I know you like to, I know you're very long-winded like myself, and that's definitely why we're good podcast hosts. So use
Calling
the
ourselves,
voice.
but
Yeah.
calling ourselves good podcast hosts on our own podcast that's a flex. That's like calling yourself hot on a first date. It's like, I know I'm hot, but all right. So I'm beginning to see you're kind of like a one-trick pony with this.
Everyone listening to this I'm exposing myself as someone who's not technical. In hindsight, I probably should have told you to add these, but I didn't really know how. Have you ever had the moment where maybe it's your grandma or your mom or an older aunt where they're trying to turn on the TV and it's just not working? You go up and you just switch HDMI to HDMI 2 and all of a sudden they're like, Jesus Christ, this is Mark Zuckerberg in our family.
Yeah, I've had that. But why were there only women in your analogy?
My uncles knew how to change HDMI cords. It was literally my mom. My mom would FaceTime me and be like, Omid, oh my God, I'm trying to watch my show, but it's not coming up. And I was like, have you clicked input on your remote? And I'll do it. And she's like, wow, I raised such a good kid.
Bro, the amount of times that I've gotten just absolutely championed in my family, and I fully take it for showing them how to power off and power on, or do a quick unplug, or just unplug the router, dude, has just been nuts. But so yeah, I have had that experience. It's, why are you bringing that up?
Because that experience is how I feel with AI. Like using AI to its functionality. I look at AI like my mom looks at me.
Are you the aunt in this? Okay, so you're the aunt and your mom in this example. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow. I literally, this past weekend, I coded an entire software, vibe coded a software in literally like 2 hours. Actually,
what is vibe coding, by the way? Is it just like trying to like, is it literally as it sounds? Is it just vibing and like coding?
That's exactly it. It's literally and I thought vibe coding meant something completely different. Like I thought it was like the language or something. So I was looking it up, like I was talking to ChatGPT. I was like, what is vibe coding? And it's like, it's when you just ride the vibes of coding. Like it makes it so fun that you don't care what the code is. You're not trying to debug line by line. You don't really care how it comes out. You're just like giving chat, you're like saying, Jesus, take the wheel, chat, take the wheel,
Dang, bro. So yeah, hold on. You coded something, because you actually did text me this on the weekend, and that's why we want to hop on. You for anybody listening, what you need to know is that Omid and I are not technical founders, and
not
so I don't. My technical expertise is really low. I'm much more on the operations and creative side, and so is Omid. But Omid literally texted me, goes, "Holy shit!" And he sent me a video, and it was you coded something from front to finish in 10 minutes over the weekend. Is that a cap? Or like, did it? And by the way, is this a functioning thing, or is this like, oh, hey, I kind of made
fully functioning, fully deployed right now? I sent you the link. You can log in and you can do the thing on it.
Wait, I could log in. So wait, hold on. Okay, take it a step back. This is my first time hearing this. Tell me what it is you were trying to solve, and then what it is that you coded and how it works. But try to keep it fairly short and straightforward. And so simple.
I love X, and I was on X, and there's this guy that non-technical founder like myself and Nick, but just I feel like we love technology. So like I've always done little hacks here and there whenever I could, and I tried to learn coding once. But anyway, so like I have this love for technology, and this guy he vibe coded a software called creatorbuddy.com. He makes $300,000 a year in recurring revenue on it. And from this, and it's the coolest. It's the coolest idea ever. It's like you put a tweet into the platform and it will use AI, and it will rate your tweet by how viral it can go using all of the posts ever on X. So like it uses X's API, and it's awesome, and people are having great success on it. And he just literally has no coding experience, vibe coded it using Replit and I think he used Claude or something like that. So anyway, so I saved a bunch of his videos, and I was like, I looked up, there's a guy named Greg Eisenberg.
Yeah, I know Greg. Yeah.
Yeah. So Greg had a video of this guy that he sells vibe coded software to people on Upwork. He makes $750 like, per software or something like that. So I watched the video, and what he does is he goes into Upwork, he gets a job description, puts it into ChatGPT, and asks it to create this thing called a PRD, which is like a requirements document that you would give to developers. He then takes that PRD that ChatGPT created based on the job description, and then he puts it into Replit. It says, write me this software and use Shade CN, which I think is like a UI I don't know, something with UI. You can
Sure,
obviously
yeah,
tell
yeah.
me explain this to
Yeah,
you that
yeah.
I'm not technical,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
helps with UI.
something
Yeah.
could
And
be UX. It could be UX, but something UI.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Something with like the images and stuff on the software and whatever. I click run. I come back in 10 minutes and I have a fully fledged software there. But obviously it's my first time and I didn't put the right fail safes in it. So I
Wait,
found
what
this.
were you trying to solve though? Like what were you even trying to do? Like from a
So
thousand feet?
for my Kindle business, the m- when I first sold my business, the one thing that I wish I did was manage my finances better and know my numbers inside and out. And being in SaaS sales right now, when everything is revenue tied and we know all of our numbers, I was like, I want to apply that to my business. So right now we track all my expenses per book in my book publishing business on spreadsheets. But it's like it gets a little bit messy, and I want to have a nice dashboard and everything. So I was like, let me vibe code this. So I was like, let me see if I can create a dashboard just for book expenses. And then that's what I ended up creating.
And so how did you do it? Like, so I've never even been on Replit. So is it like a ChatGPT where you just start talking to it and you can query it using large language models and talk to it like a human and
You
just
can
go from
literally
there?
give it a prompt and then just say, make me this software. And I literally gave it the prompt from ChatGPT and I said, make me this software. And then it just ran with it. And then it made me, I probably got me 70% of the way there, or maybe 80%. And then there were certain pages that I just wouldn't load. And that's when I realized after the fact, when I was trying to debug it, that it put a lot of static code versus fully finishing the software. So then I would just say, I would say, hey, Replit, this page
What's that?
doesn't
What's
work.
static code?
Meaning like it was code that didn't do anything. It was just placeholder code to finish the software. So like, for
Okay,
example,
cool.
I would
Got it.
click, I would have an expense and I would click edit and then it wouldn't load an edit page. So all I would do is say, hey, Replit, can you fix the edit page when I click on edit? And it would say, okay. And it would go boom, boom, boom. And it would literally do it. And then it would make the edit page work. And then I would be like, okay, now can you change this column to say this? Can you remove this? And I started doing really minor tweaks. And until I got to 99% of the way there, that took me 2 hours total. It took me 10 minutes to get to 80%. It took me 2 hours to get to 99%. And then from 99% to 100%, it took me like 9 hours, bro. I ran into this. All right, I'll let you go.
No. Go ahead. No. What were you gonna say? I ran into this what?
I ran into a fucking challenge where I would input an expense and then it would not show the date of the expense as the proper date. It was showing some date from like 1969.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
I was
Yeah.
using ChatGPT, their coding model, to try to debug it for hours, and it would not work. Replit would not be able to figure it out because it's an agent. You literally tell it what to do, and it will fix it on Replit.
Yeah.
Then I went to Grok because I started learning like not all language models are the same. Like I think Grok is one of the best right now, and then Grok helped me decode it over like 2 hours. So basically, what I would do is I would give it a prompt from Grok. Replit would work. I would give it the response Replit said, and I would say, hey, Grok, this is what it told me, but I'm still running into the issue. And then Grok would be like, okay, here's what happened. Tell it this. And we did that back and forth until I finally nailed it.
Dude, that's impressive. And so, can you demo it? Can you share your screen real quick? I want to see how this thing works.
Yeah, dude. I'm fuck.
Are you fine to show this to the audience? Because I know it's like your
bro.
expenses and stuff. Yeah.
No, it's all dummy expenses right now.
A quick question that I have for you is as you're pulling this up, were you so help me explain, is this hosted on a website and did you have to like buy a domain? And then also if you have it coded on some kind of dashboard, did you have to pay for a service like Tableau or something to host it on, or did it build all the software custom for you? Okay, so this is it. All right, 1 second. Let me.
Bro, I did not tell it do this UI. It did all this itself.
And then what's and this is just custom code, or is this like a backend of something?
No,
like
bro, this is all Replit. I deployed it on Replit's website, dude. I probably pay like $4 a month, or depending on the amount of usage I have or the amount of traffic, would determine the server load.
So this is all hosted on Replit.
Yeah,
this is all okay, cool. But it's like a custom coded website. Is that right?
Yeah, fully
okay,
custom.
All right, log in. Let me see this. I want to see. Okay, so you called it publisher expense, which is great.
I didn't. ChatGPT did when I asked. So let me backtrack a little bit. And I know you had a question that we wanted to film a pod on, but what I did is I literally went to ChatGPT and I said, I want to vibe code a software, and I do voice to talk so I can get a lot out. and I said, I want to vibe code a software. Let me share my idea of what it's going to look like. And then I literally talked for a minute of like, if I could have a dream software to do this, this is what I wanted to do. And then I was like, how would I build that? It told me. And then I basically said, turn that into a PRD. PRD is the requirement document that I gave to Replit. So now let's log in.
Okay, solid.
Bro, buddy, I didn't do anything here except tell the agent to fix problems.
All right, so this is your dashboard. So this is not on like a Tableau or on like a Google Analytics 4 or anything like.
I don't even know what Tableau is, dude. Like this is all
Tableau
on
is
Replit.
like a dashboard where you can. This is fucking interesting.
This is all on Replit, dude. And like for example, I have my total expenses, my monthly spend, and then the amount of books that I have, and I can come in here.
All right. Got it. Okay, I get it. I don't know your business, and so the specifics and stuff won't really matter to people.
But I can come here, I can add expenses, dude. I can tag my expenses with a date, a category that I could change. I could change the books associated to it. I could add a description, choose the type of expense. Dude, I could literally come into like reports and I can see, it initially gave me a pie chart and I said, change it from pie chart to bar graph. And then I just did this.
So this is kind of like, it's kind of like your own personal QuickBooks with like a ton of, and it just seems way easier to use than a QuickBooks.
Yeah, dude, it's and literally I could just give it to my VA and say, hey, just add all the expenses and tie it to the necessary books. That way I have a screenshot of my expenses. And I also know that you can sell a business for more money when you have proprietary software rather than using other software to run it.
Very true. That's impressive. I want to do this, dude. I want to do this for you. Inspired me. I want to try doing this for a handful of functions that I'm across. You know a handful of the functions I'm across because we talk about it a lot. So for anybody listening, something I do there's a lot of. I think I heard this once on a podcast, and I think it's about right. If any of your core tasks are living out of spreadsheets or documents, and you're doing a lot of admin, that's a great place to start if you want to know where to vibe code or where to build a software solution. And so one of those places for me right now is that I'm a podcast producer. And so every single time we have a podcast, I create a document called recording notes. And then we look at, what needs to be fixed from the podcast, what needs to be removed, what are any notes that we have on audio. And then we also create a ton of different information. What are we going to cut into a clip for social? What are we going to cut into a clip for YouTube? How are we going to thumbnail this? It's like a brain dump basically. And it is very human, and that part's not going to change because A, I enjoy it, but B, it's kind of necessary for a human to do that. I've tried AI to do it and it just misses. But the challenge, believe it or not, it's so silly. It's carrying all the information from that document over to a sheet. And so we don't use Google Sheets, we use Airtable. And so is it possible for me to build a Replit or to build a code that just does that carries it into Airtable, or will it carry it into just a different platform altogether?
So one of the things that I love with AI, and I think a lot of people need to learn this skill, and it's using AI to answer AI questions. Like my wife always asks me if ChatGPT can do something. I'm like, just ask it.
Okay,
and
cool.
Like
what I'll ask her right now.
What I did, and I know you like to. I know you're very long-winded like myself, and that's definitely why we're good podcast hosts. So, use
calling
the
ourselves,
voice,
but calling ourselves good podcast hosts on our own podcast that's a flex. That's like calling yourself hot on a first date. It's like I know I'm hot, but
so use voice to talk and literally say, "I want to vibe code a software. This is my business process. How do I implement this? What should I be looking for? Help me come up with an idea on how to vibe code it."
Let me just try it. I'll do this in real time. Ready? So,
do you have premium ChatGPT?
Yeah, of course. Let me share my ChatGPT. For anybody that wants to know my history, yes, I was looking up protein pancakes for under 500 calories, and it came in sharp. I got that done. All right, so I'm not going to do voice to text because I want to. I just want to get this all done right now while it's on the podcast. Or can I do voice to text here? Let's try.
No, that's only voice mode. You'd have to do it on your phone, I think.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, all right.
Let me see.
I want to. All right, so I'm going to write, I currently make a ton of notes after recording a podcast episode and then migrate them to Airtable. The notes follow no distinct format. It's fairly loose. Can I vibe code a solution for this? What I have to ask it to build? Build me
No, now say, at least this is what I said. Can you please help me generate a set of requirements
a set of requirements.
as a PRD?
And that's it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what it does. By the way, as this is loading, I'm actually so surprised with how quick chat, like one of the most underserved and undiscussed parts of ChatGPT or any AI is how quick it actually replies. It is phenomenal, the level of intelligence and how fast it actually generates a response. The loading time is incredible. All right.
We're so spoiled, dude. Like, there was a time where we didn't have something like this. I know there are certain people where like it takes a minute to pull an answer, and they're like, "Oh my god, man! Like this is such a slow thing," and it's like you don't even know how awesome of a tool this is.
All right, so it's still building this.
Yeah, so now what it's doing is it's giving you requirements, like it's called product requirements document as a PRD. So now it's giving that to you, and it's saying it's possible. So now, let's see. See, like I don't know any of this stuff. I know you would need an API, Airtable's API, in order to push it. But now what I would do is I would say,
should I try to build this on Replit?
No. So, yes, but here's what I would now say.
Okay.
Once it's done, say, can you format these requirements as a PRD for an AI coding assistant?
What does that mean?
I'll tell you. Hold on, we're almost done, and I'll tell you what it means. And then there's a sentence after this. You're going to say, be agnostic when it comes to tech stack, but make sure to use Shade CN or Shad CN.
How do I spell that?
Make sure to use SHAD-CN.
Okay.
All right. So now let me explain this.
What does that all mean? Yeah. What does that all mean?
So you're asking it to give you a PRD that you can give to Replit, which is an AI coding assistant, is what it is. So the PRD is going to be specifically so that Replit can read it. And then when you're saying be agnostic, it means like don't. Like, for example, if you scroll up, it was saying like use React and use all this stuff. So you're asking to be agnostic on that. And then when you're using Shade CN, at least on the Greg Eisenberg podcast, when the guy was talking about it, it's kind of that like Notion UI type feel. And I don't know if it's like I should actually look up what it does, but it gives you a specific feel to the software using Shade CN.
Got it. Okay, so I'm actually creating a Replit account in another tab right now as that's all populating.
It's free.
Is it free? Is it free forever, or like is it like a subscription model like a ChatGPT?
The basic one is free. I coded the entire software until I got to 99% on the free version. Okay. I only upgraded because I ran out of credits.
Let's just see what happens. So I'm just going to copy and paste this blindly. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do.
Let me go ahead and share my.
Share your entire window.
Yeah, I will. That's what I'll do. Can you see this? Can you see me bouncing between tabs?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm going to copy this 1 second.
Is it done?
Yeah. Copy. All right. Boom. That's it.
Now, hold on. Now say, please build me this app.
Yep.
And use Shade CN when possible.
All right, so I'm beginning to see you're kind of like a one-trick pony with this. It's like just please build me this at every point. Just can you use
Shade CN?
Did you use Shade CN if it's not working? Hey, did you use Shade CN or no? What is Shade CN? I wasn't really listening.
Dude, the way the guy explained it way better than myself. Actually, you know what? Let's ask my friend ChatGPT.
No, I kind of want you to explain it. I want to laugh while
all right, Shade. So when I'm gonna use my
hold on, time out. I'm just gonna say approve plan.
Okay, no. Add customized field mapping for Airtable. Add enhanced session history. No, I don't know if you need session history, or maybe if you want to see the history of the notes. Yeah, I would do that. And then do you maybe do AI powered parsing using OpenAI to help with so then you would use like OpenAI's API key to talk to ChatGPT for some of the notes. Do you want
Sure, yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
there you
That sounds great. Okay. So what shade CN as this is working?
So I think it's a database of UX, UI. Everyone listening to this can, I'm exposing myself as someone who's not technical.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they gathered that.
It's a way to be able to, like, you saw how my software looked. Like, I think Shade CN really helped with that. Like, I think it's the fonts.
Yeah. Yo, that is fucking hilarious, dude.
Look, it's like the boxes like this, like those Notion style boxes. Look at this, bro.
All right, Shade CN really helped. Okay, all right. So is this it or what?
No,
Like
bro,
what?
it takes 10 minutes. It's
Oh,
just
this is
it's
gonna
just
take 10
building out the
minutes.
entire software right now first.
Damn.
There,
I'm
there,
excited, dude. I don't know
it's
what the heck is gonna happen, but let's see, honestly.
there's a lot of really cool things as well. Like there's some things that I wish I did on the first time. You know, in hindsight, I probably should have told you to add these, but I didn't really know how.
Thanks.
So here's like some custom instructions that
Continued
you would give
Airtable?
it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna write that.
No,
Continued
no, no, no,
Airtable.
no. You don't touch anything here.
Oh shit.
You,
My
you,
bad. It looked
like
like I was supposed to click it. That's the
no,
thing.
bro. You're the agent is doing everything here. Like move your mouse so people don't think you're doing anything.
Okay,
Like
cool.
this is literally this is
Dude, if I was doing this, I should not be. I'm in the wrong space. I shouldn't be podcasting if I could fucking code this quickly. That's insane. Okay,
so
while this is happening, okay, let me come my screen for a sec. All right, while this is happening, I'll keep this in a different window up here so that way I can monitor the progress.
so
But okay, what were you gonna say? Because I was just gonna make it a bit of a broader thing.
I was going to make a broader thing right now. So I'll
Okay, yeah,
tell you my plans on how I plan on doing this for my wife's business. So for those of you that are listening and watching, my wife owns a travel agency. She's the best travel agent in the world.
I do want to I do want to shout her out. So can we say the name on it here?
Yeah.
All right, so it's called Explore Effortlessly, and I've actually used her. I used Kara, which is your wife's name, who's great, and also a friend of mine, to plan my to plan 2 trips. And I can't tell you, it's when you fly to like a random place like a Mexico or a just that's not in the States, and you need small shit like, hey, I need a driver, or hey, I need somebody to pick me up at the airport that I could trust. I didn't even realize I went to the Bahamas. I didn't realize before I talked to Kara, Bahamas doesn't have Uber. So when you get off the plane, and especially if you're getting off late at night, you need a ride, and you don't want to find a random. You want to find someone trusted. And so I kind of honestly on the low, I thought travel agents were a thing of the past. And then I worked with Kara, and I was like, oh, this is actually insanely useful. And if you want to justify the cost on both accounts, she got us a better deal than what I could have gotten on my own. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so you're actually saving money in a lot of circumstances. And for whatever extra money you do pay, it's worth it. But that's my Explore Effortlessly plug. Shameless plug.
Hey.
I've used that
Yeah.
service. Yeah.
She's awesome. So she's, I've watched her build her business, and she doesn't use AI in her business. Of course, like she uses ChatGPT for questions and help me write this email and stuff. So my plan, and again, I haven't done this yet, but this is what I'm planning on doing because I just did this for my business, but I already have AI in every aspect of my business as much as I possibly can on my book publishing business. AI makes my life so much easier. And what I want to do is I want to take my wife's entire business process, and I'm going to have her write everything out from start to finish. I'm going to give it to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, or Grok, which is really good. And I'm going to say, based on this job description of this business, where can I implement AI to streamline this business? And what are the AI tools or processes that I can implement? And also, where can I vibe code any software to help improve specific areas of this business? And then just have AI coach you on it. That's the thing I heard. Yeah. Well, I'll let that sit for a sec.
No, yeah, dude, I fuck with that. I mean, I have a question for you, but you go ahead.
The next thing I was going to say is with AI, it's killed. And you and I come from the education industry, from like people selling courses and stuff. And in most cases, a lot of those businesses are struggling because now they're trying to sell packaged information that you can get readily available on AI. If you just use AI as a coach and you give it the persona of a coach, it can teach you what Alex Hormozy knows for business or like for ads or et cetera. Like you can get those knowledge from AI as a coach. But yeah, go.
Well, I don't know if that's, you are right. You can get it as a coach, but So this brings me to my agent thing is still working in the background, but this is the broader arc to me in AI. And one, we're still so early to the space. And there's a show I produce with Peter Diamandis, Moonshots, and this is basically all we talk about. And we're really early. And I can't stress enough how early we really are. The use cases for it, we think it's going to be ChatGPT, and we're all excited about Replit, but we haven't even begun to really understand the use cases for this type of technology yet. Two, the actual thing I think of when it comes to AI, what comes to my heart is that I think like things like this are exciting to me. This Replit thing, I'm looking at it in the background. My feeling is that it's going. A lot of people are worried about job loss and what it's going to make of humans. I think that most things in life are what you make it.
Yep.
And with AI, I think that if you allow it to be a tool that helps you free up your time to become more human, I think you're going to be a lot happier. For example, we'll cover this in a different episode, but me and a co-founder of mine, we built it. He built it. He vibe coded it. I can't take credit for it.
He vibe coded it?
Yeah, and
Hey.
Ikigai and an Ikigai AI. And so you can basically, it prompts you through like a form to go through all of like the Ikigai questions, and then it spits out an Ikigai for. Do you know what Ikigai is?
Wow. Yeah, dude. I've been wanting to do Ikigai for a while, but it's like doing it by myself.
It's super dope. I've actually done it like twice to go through it as a test, and we're now testing it for free. If you want, I can give it to you.
Yeah, I would love that. I was actually gonna do it. You just gave me the idea when you first mentioned it to do it through ChatGPT and have it coach me through Ikigai.
This is a little, you could do that, but in my opinion, this is almost a little better because there was so much. His name is Tyler. He did more than vibe coded. He did some custom stuff for it as well because he used it as a bit of a project. I can say from experience, I was like, there was one thing in my Ikigai that was actually really notable, and I was like, oh, that was really cool. Like, I'm happy that it gave me that. I've never heard language. It was in somewhere, I can't remember if it was like in what you're good at or what you're, for anybody not listen or anybody listening, Ikigai is like a way for you to find your purpose. But it looked at everything I was doing and it said building meaningful content. And I just really like that phrase, building meaningful content. For me, that it spoke to me. And so it helped clarify a lot of my life. The only reason I bring up Ikigai AI is because if you use AI for things in your life that really matter, I think that it could really help you. And like this is an example of that, this project here is an example of that. So yeah,
it's fire. I don't think it fully substitute having an actual coach who has the nuances of what you're doing, because it's really one dimensional. It's not as three-dimensional as having like Hormozi coach you, for example, but it really helps you get started and like get to the point where you can, you can really, oh damn, what a handsome fellow. But you can get to the point of just beginning, where a lot of people just get stuck at the start. Oh, so all right. So now it's asking me to do something.
So not to cut you off, but it's asking me to do something. What's it asking me? So I'm just going to read this out loud. How does a podcast no capture and Airtable sync toolkit look? I fixed the syntax error in the code. Input freeform notes with the episode name and guest details. Parts notes into automatic extract.
It's just telling you what it did, but the task is at the bottom.
Okay, cool. Can you try entering some podcast notes and see if the parsing works correctly? For example, start typing. Okay, yeah, this is easy. So I can actually do this in real time. So, all right, let me go to an episode I did recently. Hold on.
Are you going to copy and paste the information in?
Yeah. Why?
I would put like a sentence. I mean, I don't know if you're going to put a lot just to make sure that it can handle.
I want to try to break it.
It's going to break 100%.
Okay, cool. You think it's going to break 100%? Okay, I'll do one timestamp.
1,000% is literally going to break.
Okay, I'm going to do 2 timestamps. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so this is a recording notes document. Let's go here and let's just do this. Let's write Tyler Schmidt, who was a previous episode, and then okay, cool. All right, let's just see what happens. So, continue to Airtable, sure.
So now what it would do is if you had the Airtable API, it would say, please configure your Airtable connection in the settings. So click, here, let me help you here really quick. On the right side, do you see the pin?
Yeah.
Right under that pin. No, one more to the right, down, click on that. Nope.
This?
Yes. Click on that. And now it's going to open it up in your browser. So now you get a bigger view of what the software would look like.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. I think for the sake of like doing this test in real time, that's all we need. I'm not going to go work out all the kinks. This is fucking cool. My thing for anybody listening is that I got that text from me this weekend saying, dude, I coded something in under 10 minutes. Loki, it was a cap. That shit was 2 hours. But that's still really impressive to solve a really meaningful problem. Omid, keep us updated with how that tool actually shakes out. I wonder if it's actually useful in practice or if it's fake useful. And then well, no, but like sometimes it's
Yeah, no,
just
I
true
hear
that
you.
you actually use the tool and it's like, oh, this actually didn't really work. Let's end the episode with three random predictions each of where we think AI might have the biggest impact. I'm just gonna totally fucking free ball. And then let's give everybody listening a prompt as to how they should use AI.
I think we should preference this with our predictions. We are not technologists. We are just two brown men on a podcast.
I think that they've learned. If you listen to this episode, you will know that we're not technologists.
Use Shade
Okay.
CN when applicable.
All right. Prediction one. I don't fucking know, dude. Do you know the amount of predictions that Peter makes on the podcast for AI? I'm just gonna steal some of those. Um.
All right. While my guy's loading, I have one.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You go.
I recently saw this kid that went through a diagnosis, and he was going through so many doctors to try to find why he was sick. And ChatGPT was the one that found the reason why he was sick.
Yeah, that actually happened with somebody on our team. This is public, but he had cancer, and he got diagnosed with cancer, and he went through ChatGPT and he went through Google deep research, and it like gave him a plan to fix it that no doctor was giving him. He said everybody should use this if you have a critical illness. So that's not really a prediction, but it's a cool use case. So let's do that. Let's do cool use cases because I think that's
Yeah, I guess, but a prediction would be like it ends up solving so many diseases. Like we might be able to find the cure for cancer with
Oh, we
AI.
will. Yeah, no, we will. Like Peter's working on that, by the way, and a lot of companies that I know of are actively working on that and are making incredible progress. I think Peter's noting that within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have really, really meaningful progress. So the game is just to stay alive long enough to capture
Yeah.
some of that change. Okay, I'll go. So I think a use case for it is that I think that entertainment as a whole is going to get a lot better. I think that with AI, it's going to free creative people up to be extra creative. And I don't know how that'll look, but I know I have friends in the industry that are really creative that are totally unshackled right now that can just use AI to just operate. When previously they had to operate, they use AI to operate and they're just free to be creative. And I'm starting to see some of the really early creative iterations that come from that, and it's exciting. So that's my second use case. Let's do one more between the two of us. I don't know if we're going to come up with three each.
Yeah. I think a use case here is um, the people that plan to use it as a tool can really 10x their output. It's just like looking at my job. I used to spend so much time writing follow-up emails and trying to figure out how to respond to people perfectly. And AI is the greatest thing in the world. It's literally like I have a coach by my side. So I think just people's outputs and anything that you're doing, you can ask AI, this is my job. How do I improve it using AI? And I think
I'll give you one more. I think, and this is again from Peter, but I think he's right. And I've actually witnessed this. So not in its totality, but I think we're going to start to see over the next few years a few $billion companies with 1 to 3 people because of AI. But that's how much value. At Peter's recent event, the Abundance Summit, there were 3 founders, Omid, that were under 20 years old that were all doing over $1 billion within a 12-month window from launch, and they were all AI startups.
wow, that's insane.
There was this guy there that he is an AI investor. To give you an idea for the value of this, and this is somebody who invests and he sees money in a different way, and his fund is very successful. He's returned over $500 million to investors across his four funds across the recent few years. And he said, I recently bought an apartment building. I'm not going to say where because I don't know how much of this is public, but he recently have I told you this? He recently bought a fucking apartment building with 20 condos in it, and he just furnished them. And he was like, why did I do that? Because I'm actively investing in AI startups and I want them to move to the city that my fund is in. And again, I won't say the city. And they all want to move, but I wanted to save them the 2 weeks that it would take them to find an apartment and to get basic furniture into it. Because the 2 weeks, he said he did the math, would equate to over $2 million in realizable venture capital gain. If and I was like, what, dude? First of all, if I was raising money and he invested in my startup, I would be afraid. I'd be like, dude, how much value do you expect for me to make up for in 2 weeks? But two, you bought a building. Like that's where this bet went. And so this is a fucking crazy space, man. What's the prompt? Let's give people something specific that they could use AI for.
Just go use voice chat so that you can word vomit all over it and just say, this is what I'm doing, either a business or an idea or your job, and say, take everything I'm doing and give me use cases of where I can apply AI into that. And then based on the response that you get, ask AI further questions to narrow it down. That's exactly
Okay.
what I would do for everyone.
Okay, I like that. I'll give them a different one that's weirdly benefited me. Try every single major AI platform. So try Perplexity. Try Perplexity's from Claude, right? Or is it its own
No,
thing?
no, Perplexity is his own thing.
Claude is Anthropic. So
Yeah.
try Claude. Try Grok. I haven't tried Grok yet, and I'm
Grok
going
is
to after this call.
amazing, dude.
And then try ChatGPT, which most people on here probably have. So what should they? So I'll tell you, I use Perplexity for research because I know that it's more data backed. And so when I need something that is a little bit more vetted, I'll use Perplexity. I'll use ChatGPT for general chat. I have it on my phone. I think the UI is really great. I actually haven't used Claude yet, but what should people use Claude and Grok for?
So Claude 3.7 Sonnet is the best one for coding right now, at least from what I've seen. I'm sure there's like every day there's a new AI platform that's coming out, but from what I'm saying, based on my limited knowledge of AI, that's what I've seen. But I mean, a lot of the platforms can really do a lot of the same things. I mean, you can get away with using Grok in X, ChatGPT Premium or the Pro version, the $20 a month one can give you so many different models you can use. And then also like use deep research is amazing, dude.
Yeah, from Google, right? From Google?
No, ChatGPT has deep research as well. So does Grok.
Yeah, Google's is incredible, by the way. Gemini's one I didn't mention. They're deep research. They're all fucking sick. All right, use
Yeah.
them. All right, let's end it there.